We've created quite a lot of virtual studio.tv videos over the last 12 months, and lots of people have got in touch asking us how all of this virtual environment technology works. Now, we had a launch event a few months back and we showed several live demos, and so we thought we'd take one of those live demos and turn it into a video. Now, I can't do this myself. For this demo, I need the help of my colleague Simon, so I'll ask Simon to say hello, just to prove he's here.
Hi.
There he is. Now, Simon is going to go back into the studio and he's going to be sitting at the live editing desk. So I'll be talking to Simon throughout this video, asking him to do various bits to show you how it all works. So you'll hear the door shut in a minute. There we go, there's Simon. He's sitting at the desk now. So essentially we use green screen technology. So behind me here you'll see a green screen. Now we happen to use reflect media, which gives us a really great green, and when somebody stands in front of it as well there's no shadow, so we kind of get this instant perfect green. Now Simon is going to insert a virtual studio now into the background. So it's worth saying all our virtual studios are made in-house. Now the great thing about our studios is we've created them so they can be subtly amended to reflect any company's brand guidelines. So this studio happens to be blue, but we do have different options as well, so we can change the colour of this environment. There we go, Simon's changed it to silver. Now some of the cool things about our technology, one of them is the fact that we have real-time reflections in our studios. So you can see here, if I start to move my feet, we're getting real-time reflections of my feet in there. Okay, so that type of thing makes it look like a more realistic environment. Now all of our studios have a virtual screen, which is here. Now our virtual screens can show PowerPoint, images, video, essentially anything that is inside PowerPoint. So there we've got some text, and if we advance the slide, images as well. So it's a little bit like a news studio environment. So if I ask Simon to put me into another studio, so this is what we call Studio 2. Now in the studio before I said we could change the colours, in this studio we can change the images. So we have several versions of this studio with different types of images in the background. But if you're a company who has spent a lot of money on imagery, you might have a great high quality image that we could insert in the background for you. So here we have again virtual screen. You see London there just popped up. We've got our virtual screen here with our image showing. Now, as well as images and text, of course, in PowerPoint you can play video too. So you can show video in this screen. So here we've got a video playing on a virtual screen within a virtual environment. That's pretty cool. Now, if you want to, you can actually go full screen on any content that we're showing on the virtual screen there. So we're going full screen. Now in some cases, if you've got a complex PowerPoint slide or just because you want to, we can also put a presenter inside the content that's on the virtual screen. So if you have a complicated graph that you need to explain or you want to point something out, you can go into the virtual screen. So if I ask Simon to go back into the studio, there we go. So the other thing that's pretty cool about our technology is if a presenter comes into the studio and stands in position, if they're not in quite the right position, Simon can move them around to get them into the right place. So I'm not moving at all now. Simon is just going to move me around the studio. So that's pretty cool. So I'm not doing anything, Simon's doing that. Now say, for instance, the ratio isn't quite right when I stand inside a studio environment. He can make me smaller. So itty bitty, or he can make me bigger. So that's quite cool. So I'm not moving at all, Simon's doing all of that. The other cool thing is there are two cameras in front of me that we use in the studio, and Simon on the live editing desk is controlling those cameras completely. So if I ask Simon to just pan out a bit, so a little bit further, there we go, and come closer, stop, and go back, and come closer, and go back, And come closer. There we go. So Simon's doing all of that, which again is a really cool thing about this technology that we use. Now, if you don't want a complex studio environment, such as this one, you can just use a very simple studio. So this is what we call our grey studio. As you can see, it's grey. We can change the colour of this as with the first studio I showed you. So if you have a specific Pantone reference for your company guidelines, we can use it. And here is the virtual screen. So on this screen, slightly bigger, and again, this is just PowerPoint on this screen. So one last thing that I want to show you, actually, that's pretty cool is if you have a product or something. So we've done some live product demonstrations in our studio. You can bring anything you like into this studio environment, obviously within reason. So I'm going to ask Simon to pass me something. I can see he's got a bottle. Yep, caught it. So Simon has just passed me a bottle of water there. And as you can see, perfect keying out there for this studio. So you can do product demonstrations, pretty much bring anything you like into the studio. So that's just a simple show around of our technology. I'm going to let Simon go out of the studio now. He's going to shut the door again. There we go. So that's just a simple show around of our technology. A little bit more of a real video, if you like, from virtualstudio.tv. Thanks for watching. We actually have an open door policy in our studio, so if you or a colleague want to come and have a look around, then please just give us a call, get in touch today. You're more than welcome. You can have a coffee, a good look around the studio and really see how it all works, because to see it live, it is pretty cool. So thanks for watching.